Hello everyone, I want to give a shout out to CVLife for making some damn fine equipment. Now, I do not work for CVLife. They probably wouldn't want me working for them, but I use their stuff nonetheless. Okay, so I was shooting 500 yards today. I'll include a small clip of that. I was shooting prone, and first thing, the sling. Okay, the sling absolutely necessary because I'm doing a lot of walking. Now, I had a scope cam that was attached to the magnifier here. So normally I would throw this rifle over my back, right, and walk like this. But because of the scope camera, I wanted to keep my eyes on. Okay, so what I did is I ended up like instead of having it on my like in front of me, I kind of slung it off to the side a little bit over here, and this made for some pretty easy walking. And then the camera was attached to the to the side over here, so that worked pretty great. So I never worked with the gun in this position before, right? Normally it's either like hanging in front of my body or it's slung over my back, right? And then when I pull it down, I just tighten it up a little bit, okay? And then to retrieve it, I put my thumb there, all right? And then I'm able to retrieve it, get on target really quick, okay? All right, so that's so this sling worked really good for me. In the past, I kind of favored the brash tactical ones. Right, I have a whole bunch of those. The brash tactical ones are a little bit thinner. So what I'm finding is when I'm walking longer distances, the thinner 1-inch strap. I mean, especially if you're wearing a light shirt like this, can start digging into you a little bit. So this strap, which is I think like 1.25 inches, a little bit wider, spreads out the weight a little bit better, and especially up here around the neck area. I'm finding this a lot more comfortable. Now, initially, when I got this sling, the CVLife sling, I mean, it was really fast on the release, but to tighten it up, it seemed like it was taking a lot of effort, right? So it was really fast on the release, right? If you need to do a left side transition like that, okay? But then it was like had to really pull on it. One of my viewers gave me some great advice that's been working really well. He told me to use some silicone spray and spray the inside of the strap over here. Run it back and forth, and yeah, it really worked. So there's a tip for you guys with these CVLife slings. If you're finding that they're a little bit too tight on tightening it up, get some, and you can just get the Walmart brand. That's what I used. Basically just soak the sling basically in the area where this basically goes back and forth, and I find that it has really good retention. If I pull on it, it doesn't loosen up. So this CVLife sling is working really good for me. Now this is my SHTF gun. I did a separate video on this. This is a gun that you guys normally don't see that often. I've been taking it out and working with it and doing some, putting in some time with it, because I do that like a couple of times a year, because there's some guns that I like shooting on a day-to-day basis. But there's some guns that are, okay, this one is for like serious, a serious situation. So this is my SHTF gun. So it's got to be able to serve lots of different purposes, lots of different situations that might be very unexpected, right? So if you have a global disaster, World War III, you don't know if you're going to be hunkering down in your house, needing to move to a different location. Even if you think that you're well prepared, hey, I mean, if you got a volcano that's like blowing up from underneath you, I mean, you're going to need to move, okay? So you need a gun that that's good for stationary fighting and also that's fast on the move. Okay, so AR-15 is ideal for that, right? Because it's a light gun. Now, why did I pick this one? This one's from Radical Firearms versus other guns. Now, I got lots of palmettos. I like them a lot. One of the things that this particular rifle has, by coincidence, right? This has it's a 16-inch barrel, but it has a 15-inch rail. Okay, that's got Picatinny all the way across the top. Now, I think that Palmetto also offers that, but I just never bought one of those. This is the one that I happened to buy, and it's like, this is perfect for the role that I have it set that I need it for. Okay, so it's got Picatinny all the way across the top on a 15-inch, 15 inches of rail on a 16-inch barrel. Okay, so that gives me a lot of real estate to put things on. Okay, so that's why I picked this particular Radical Firearms AR-15. Okay, and I've got 1-inch groups at 100 yards with this, so the gun works great, and that's with target ammo. Okay, I don't even think I've tried it with match grade ammo. I will probably get a 1/2 inch at 100 yards, but with PMC and with the Wolf Gold, I mean, I've hit 1-inch groups, many times. Okay, so that's the firearm. The magazines are all Lancers. I love these clear Lancer ones. I use the 30 rounders, right? I like to fill those up with like the target and practice ammo, right? And then the 20 rounders I fill with my distance shooting ammo. So I know my 20 rounders are for long distance, and then the 30 rounders are for, the 20 rounders have the better ammunition basically. That's better at further distances. 30 rounders I load with ammunition that, hey, I don't expect to be using them at 500 yards. Okay, so that's why I got the 20 rounder on here. Now, one of the things I forgot to mention is this sling is attached with a CVLife M-lock, right, attachment over there. I did a separate video on that. It's cheap, works good. It locks. I like that it locks, because if it doesn't lock, what happens is the sling will just keep twisting, and it'll get all tangled up. So I like that the sling locks. Unfortunately, I wish it would lock on this end. On this end, it swivels. Now on some ARs that can become a problem. On this one, fortunately, it doesn't circle around all the way, so that kind of keeps it from getting tangled up. But I wish CVLife would make a socket that locks in place, because I think there's lots of sockets out there that don't lock. We need locking sockets to attach to the back of the stocks. Okay, so optic Holosun 503G, because it's got the bullet drop compensator, and I can shoot that CQB distance all the way out to all the way out to 500 yards, actually 600 yards, right? Because the tip is a 100-yard zero. Inside the arrow is a 200-yard zero. The legs are 300. The first dot is 400. Second dot is 500. The last dot is 600. Okay, so I've had this out to today. I had it out to 500 yards on that middle dot. Worked great. I'll attach some video at the end of the video. And using just this 3x magnifier. Okay, so 3x magnifier is nice. It's fairly light. I prefer the 6x, but there's certain advantages to the 3x in that, even with the 3x, I can come up and I can get on target really quickly, right? With less hunting. Okay, so that's a reason why you would want to use a 3x versus the 6x. However, most of the time, if I'm shooting 500-600 yards, I prefer the 6x. Now for a SHTF, I don't expect to be doing that much shooting at 600 yards, so I think the 3x is perfect. Okay, because it's light, and incidentally, this glass does have scratches front and back. Still works fine. Now, another advantage of the magnifier is that I can take it off, and now I can look at distance without pointing the gun at people. So that's another benefit of having a magnifier versus, let's say, if you have an LPVO, now you can't remove the LPVO to look at distance. Okay, so CVLife, right, gave us a nice sling here, gave us a nice sling attachment, M-lock sling attachment, and they gave us this really nice bipod, right? And I've done lots of videos where I'm shooting on this. A lot of times you can't see the video, you can't see the bipod, because you're either looking through the camera or you're looking at me and you can't see what's underneath the gun. But this is the bipod that I use, and it's really nice that it has a cant, because when I'm shooting prone in the real world, right, the ground is never level. Okay, so I need to level off the gun. Okay, now to help me level off the gun, I have got this CVLife bubble level up here. Right now, why up here? Why not back here? Because the magnifier has to be back here, because there's eye relief issues. Okay, so this is a good spot, because usually with this, if I'm looking at distance, left eye can see the bubble level. Okay, right eye can see through here, and I can kind of see both at the same time for a second and level it off and make sure it's level. So that's working really good. So this bubble level is really important, because if your gun is canted, right, if the gun is canted, that can throw your bullet off up to 2 inches, depending on how far you're shooting, left or right. Okay, so a lot of times when people shoot at distance, what they do is they level the gun off to the ground, right? You know, they make sure that it looks straight versus the ground. But the ground is usually crooked, okay? So that's why you need a bubble level to tell you what the, you know, how to actually cant the ground. Because remember, the bullet is reacting to gravity, not to the shape of the earth, okay? So that's why that bubble level is critical. So I got four CVLife things on my SHTF gun here. I got sling, I got the sling mount, right? M-LOK sling mount. I got the bipod, and I've got this bubble level over here. Okay, and you know, I keep looking through the list of stuff that they have. I always see what else they're coming out with. I would like a socket, but you know, now this particular stock here, it came fixed with the stock, but there's lots of other rifles where I've had to attach it myself. So I'd like them to make a socket. So the only thing now, as far as storing this gun, so normally when I store this gun, the bipod's not fixed on the gun. Okay, I keep that separate, keep that in the backpack. But what is stored on the gun is a pistol light, which I keep on top here. And the pistol light is nice because you can take it on, take it off. I don't have to like deal with wires and zip ties. When you're looking through the scope and the pistol light's in the front, it kind of looks like the way like an A2 post would look up here. So that works great. So that's where the pistol light normally sits. I took it off today because I knew I was going to be shooting 500 yards in daylight, so I didn't need that extra weight over there. And I added the bipod. So the other thing I wanted to add is a backup sight. So if you notice, I got my backup sights here, right? Because remember, I don't expect to be using these things, and I follow the 80% rule. What do I expect to be using 80% of the time? Definitely red dot, magnifier, double level, you know, bipod. I don't expect to be using these flip-up sights. These are the Magpoles. These are like $100 each. Okay, so these are $200, but that's a good spot. And here's the thing, HTF down the road, if let's say batteries, I run out of batteries or something, and I can move those, right? So this is a good storage place for these flip-up sights to be. So down the road, if we're a couple of years into SHTF or World War III, red dot stops working, right? So red dot comes off, magnifier goes off because magnifier doesn't work with the flip-up sights. I've tried it, doesn't work. So then front sight goes to the front, rear flip-up sight goes to the back. That's where it works best because the ghost ring in the back goes out. However, this works good. I've actually practiced where I've dimmed down the optic, and I'm just using these two flip-up sights. I can still get hits out to 100 yards with them in that position there. Now, if things stop working down the road and I need to get this stuff off, I can move those. Now, how do I move them? Well, one of the things I did with this Radical firearm, right, I did change the trigger guard because they gave you a flat trigger guard here, and I hated that. Didn't fit well with the glove. The curved one works better. The other thing is I changed out the grip that they gave me, and I put this Magpole one in here, right? And what I have in here, and I don't want to take it out now because I don't want to lose it, but I've got two Allen keys, right? A star key for the optic. I got an Allen key for moving the flip-up sights. I got a bolt in there, right? A replacement bolt. Okay. Let me close this up because I'm out in the field here, so I don't want to lose shit. So that's where you keep all your emergency stuff. So that's where you keep the Allen keys. Where a lot of people are like, oh, how are you going to move it? Yeah, you just keep the Allen keys in there, man. You got a storage compartment right there. So I got a spare bolt because there's a good chance that if anything's going to break, it's going to be part of the bolt, right? I keep a spare firing pin in there, right? There's a spare firing pin in there. So firing pin, I keep a spare cam pin, a spare cotter pin, right? Because those are easy to lose. So we got a full bolt, we got a firing pin, a cam pin, and the cotter pin, okay? The two Allen keys, one for the optic, one for the iron sights, and a battery, a 2032 battery for the optic. I tried putting two in there, but it just wouldn't fit, so I put the rest in the backpack. And of course, I got the ambidextrous large charging handle here because, especially if you got an optic in the back, it's a lot easier to you know, so there's a lot easier to work. You know, if you got big optics back here. Okay, so that's my SHTF gun. All right, and you know, I got lots of choices. I can use I have lots of stuff, right? I got a whole, you know, I got lots of bipods, lots of slings. So I think it says a lot for CVLife that I got their sling on here. I got like 4 parts from them on this gun: sling, M-lock, mount, bipod, and the bubble level. So congrats to them, okay, for making good stuff. Keep making good stuff, and we'll keep buying it. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to y'all soon. Also, the ground's uneven. I have a CVLife bipod, and it has it like swivels like left to right, which really helps with uneven ground. So we're going to 500 yards. Check my bubble level. This is where that bubble level is critical because I'm on uneven ground right now. And at 500 yards, which is the 3rd target, we're going to hold in the middle dot, and we're going to favor left. So I'm shooting the bipod, no bag in the back. I'm just holding in my chest. It's the ones with the hearts for Valentine's Day, right? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got 5 out of 5. Hold on, 5 out of 5 at 500 yards. Okay, but